Here's a story that we want to put on your radar and keep following. A high school girl raped by a star athlete. School officials more worried about him than her. And other students bullying her on social media. Sounds a lot like Steubenville, doesn't it? But no. We're talking about Central High in Forest Hills, Michigan. 2 years before the Steubenville case. A girl was raped on campus, but the principal reportedly didn't want her or her parents to file charges. It might hurt the attacker's chances of playing hoops in college, he said. Now, nearly 3 years later, there's a 26-page lawsuit against the school district seeking damages for this young girl's pain. Fatima Goss-Graves is with the National Women's Law Center. Your group helped file that complaint. I salute you for doing that. Tell me why now.
Thanks for having me. So, Title IX is the law that prohibits sex discrimination in education, and we felt it was critical to be involved in this case because it's an example where the school's response to the sexual assault and the harassment that followed was the exact opposite of what it should have been.
Now, apparently this same athlete raped another girl 2 weeks later, and you've got the attacker and his victims in class together?
It's horrific. Unfortunately for our client, she had to stay with the same class for a couple of weeks before any changes were made. And what ended up happening for her is that she spent time in the counseling office rather than going to the class.
And I know, to make matters even worse, this attacker later pled guilty. Now, he did so to a single count of misdemeanor assault and battery, and he went to an adolescent sexual offender treatment program, apparently. But the only thing the school did was bench him during a couple of basketball games several months after this crime. I know, and the superintendent is still there. The principal got a superintendent job in Lansing.
So they just moved him all around, but, this girl has to sit through class with her rapist. That is unheard of to me.
What message are they sending to students at that point?
That is quite
so
all right.
frightening.
That you can do anything you want to girls, and the guys can continue to play football, they can continue to play sports, they can get their scholarships.
I'm going to make it worse.
That's what's so important.
I'm going to make it worse, and this makes it even more heartbreaking. Bullies, just raked this victim over the coals, and they started putting out text messages and things on Facebook. Listen to what they said about this victim. Why the expletive, do you still go to Forest Hills High when it's your fault? The attacker's name, they named the attacker, can't play because you're a lying whore who over-exaggerates. Here comes another one. Do you realize the only action you're ever going to get is from when the attacker supposedly raped you? Final one. You're fat, you're ugly, you suck at soccer, and you need to grow some balls and tell the school you're lying. Why do you always have to lie about everything? And you wonder why kids die by suicide, why they want to take their own lives when these horrible things are sent out. Fatima, it's disgusting.
No, it's horrific, and it's why we're involved. This sort of online and in-person harassment that could follow this sexual assault. There were steps the school could and should have taken to address it, and it really didn't happen.
Well, Dr. Tiff, where does that come from? Dr. Tiff is saying it's a lack of complete lack of compassion, as we know.
It definitely should be addressed. I think in addition to the sex talk, we have to have these talks with our kids about how to talk with other kids, how to talk with our teachers, how to manage these types of situations. We're not going to necessarily stop these types of situations from happening, and we're especially not going to stop it until we talk to our kids and say, okay, this is the difference between right and wrong, and you don't vilify a victim. Someone who's already been victimized. It's disgusting.
Our hearts go with her, and we're going to follow the case. Fatima, thank you so much. And we want to show you this, actually, from the Forest Hills Public School website. Part of its mission statement says, we believe in supporting each other, accepting and including everyone, confronting the tough issues, and keeping each other safe and secure. Well, sounds good in principle, doesn't it?